All right, today I'm here with Nemanja Obradovic.
Correct.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
I didn't slaughter it or anything.
No, close, but no, you were still good.
And he is a Serbian-American first generation.
Correct, first generation.
He is a VIP bottle service consultant in downtown Chicago on the north side.
Pretty much, yeah. All River North and pretty much a bunch of different places from Greektown section all the way up to River North, all the way to Gold Coast, mix and matching.
And he also works with GameStop as an assistant manager.
Correct.
We're talking to him today actually about his heritage, where he came from, how he came to be here. Where did your parents are originally from Serbia?
Yeah, my dad is from Serbia and my mom is actually from Macedonia.
Is Macedonia a neighbor too?
It is a neighbor. Pretty much it's both of the two countries were part of the old Yugoslavian Republic. So when my dad was in the military, he was stationed actually in the Macedonian section, and that's how they met.
Well, was it love at first sight?
It was love with different stories and everything, but pretty much, yeah, love with first sight.
And so they got hitched, and I'm guessing your mom moved from Macedonia to Serbia?
Correct.
From there, when did you come in?
Came in literally 9 months later.
Very nice. They wasted no time.
No time at all. You got to remember, my dad finished up with the military, got married with my mom, and then it just went from there.
And then shortly after they had you, and then when did your parents come to America?
We came in 1988 in April, and I was about 1.5 when we came in. Before coming here, we actually went to Russia, Moscow, for about 3 months, saw how it was over there, and then...
So you could have been a Russian Serbian?
Correct, I could have been a Russian Serbian.
Well, thank goodness you guys decided to come to America.
Yes, pretty much.
The horror stories you're hearing about the Olympics just makes you feel like you dodged a bullet there.
Matters in the sections. I went back to Moscow in 2010, actually. Saw how it was in Moscow directly. Moscow is a lot different than Sochi. So the problems that they're dealing with Sochi right now that you've heard is completely a town being rebuilt for the Olympics, while Moscow is an established section.
So how did your parents come from Serbia did they have a green card, a working visa?
We actually walked in with green cards. My grandmother was actually living here, and they filed paperwork and everything like that, and that's how they brought us in.
Okay. What does your father do?
My dad actually, first when we came in, he was working as an electrician. From there, he went into contracting. And then right now, he's actually doing two things. One is he works as a factory line operator, and then the other one is he's actually a private personal trainer.
A private personal trainer? Does he have a lot of clients?
Yeah, he actually does. Pretty much he'll finish up his day job, go do his own workout, and then he'll meet up people at their houses or at private gyms that are set up contracts, and he'll train them there.
Does he have his own business then?
Yeah, he runs his own little business with that one, and then the main business with working at the factory.
What's his business called?
Actually, he just goes by his name, Bob Slobodan Obradovic, personal trainer.
Very nice. Does he have an email he can get contacted if someone wants to work out with him?
He actually does. It's pretty much his first last name at yahoo.com, but it's slobodan.obradovic at yahoo.com.
So you and your dad have a neat relationship, and we'll probably get to that later. But okay, you guys just got to America. Your dad's an electrician. What does your mom do?
My mom, at that point in time, was pretty much cleaning offices there. She picked up she started with like a private corporation that would send her out to different offices in Oak Brook area, and when they would be closed, she'd go in, do cleanings for them and everything. That way the next day would be ready for business.
Like one of those maid temp agencies?
Exactly. It was just one of those.
Okay. What did she end up doing later?
Later after that, she actually got the same job as my dad, working day shift at a factory, and my dad was working night shift. So that's how they were able to do it without having to do a babysitter for me for the whole day or anything like that.
What factory was that?
Stocker Hinge, actually. She makes, both of them were doing door hinges. My father would manufacture them, and then she would be in the shipping department sending them out and everything.
Sounds like a long hours.
Yeah, pretty much she was happy to be out of there. In 2003, she went to school to become a nail technician, and has been doing that ever since. So she left the factory and has been building up clientele, and her clients love her, and she loves her clients.
So she also has her own business?
Pretty much, yeah.
What
Entrepreneur family.
Entrepreneur family?
Yeah,
because
pretty
you
much.
also have your own business.
Yes.
We'll get to that later as well. So your mother and father, they're in America. You're growing up. What did you want to do when you were young?
Surprisingly, I was really all over the board. One main thing when I was younger, everybody used to always joke around that I would be like a mini politician. So I'd be perfect for being a
You are a good
lawyer.
talker. You're
Yeah.
very good at talking people into things.
Yes, as you know, with working with me
Yes.
occasionally.
He could sell almost anything in the store. Even things that aren't supposed to be sold, like wall panels.
That only happened once, and we're not going into that story.
So your parents supported you with whatever you wanted to do. What is it that you really like? You want to be a politician. When did you realize, hey, maybe I don't want to be a politician. I really want to do this.
Pretty much finding out and just high school time, looking at everything that was being built up and seeing how many attorneys were coming out of college, not being able to find a single job, or as people want to joke around with some attorneys being ambulance chasers.
Yeah.
Not my really suit. And if you know me well enough, which you do, you know that that's not me.
Right.
Exactly. So with that, I kind of started off in a community college and went to College DuPage. And from there, I started originally with economics.
Mm-hmm.
But after everything, when I had my first job, which was working as a teller and personal banker, I had two people start up that just finished college that jumped into my department and were raking the same wages as me. So I found that going for econ degree wasn't going to be cost effective for me.
Right.
So I jumped and switched majors at COD to accounting, finished that up at COD with an associate's, and then transferred to Benedictine University and was questioned over there if I wanted to continue with accounting or what I wanted to jump to. So I said, you know what, I'll jump to finance. I left the bank and actually started doing loan processing. And the reason I jumped to finance was because being first generation here, I find a lot of first generation families start off where they literally either live paycheck to paycheck, live comfortable lives, or they go ahead and don't plan for their future. So I wanted to be the person that helps them plan for their future because they already know how to live. They are all hard workers, and they know how to live day to day and bye to bye to live comfortable lives, but they don't plan for their future full.
Taking a step back, when you all were here, did you all deal with any discrimination?
Honestly, we really never dealt with it. I did have, when it was the bombing of Kosovo, when it happened, I had just being picked on in elementary school, because that was the point in time that I was there, where there was Kids Time magazine that's out in this area that occasionally, I think they still have it in elementary school, put up one article and blamed like massacres and everything like that on a whole bunch of Serbian people. After everything, 6 months after the event, that same person that was questioned in that article came out that his whole family was perfectly fine.
How long did that last?
Literally during the whole time of the bombing and everything like that happened. And then after everything, a bunch of truths came out, and then everybody's like, oh, okay, sorry, we were wrong.
So you made it through college, you finally know what you do, and your parents support you 100%.
Correct. They've never at any point in time been like, no, you should do something else or different. They've always given me 100% support because, I mean, it's literally just in my household. It's my father, my mother, and me.
So you could be a karaoke DJ, and they're like, good job.
They're pretty much be fine with it. The one thing that they would say is just make sure it pays the bills and you're not going off of our dime, but
right.
They've never had that problem.
Now, you have a very awesome relationship with your dad. You guys ride motorcycles together.
Correct.
Do you guys have the same motorcycle?
No, I did a surprise with my mother, actually. I was working out a deal to pick up a motorcycle for him for his, I think it was 45th birthday. And was talking to the dealership, which is the BMW Countryside Motorcycle dealership. Was talking to them for about a month to work out a deal for a bike. After everything, this one came in, and the guy called me up literally same minute it came in. He's like, we got the perfect bike for your father. Send him in. I'm like, well, if I'm sending him in, don't tell him that this is for him. Just have him look at it and be like, oh, this has already been sold type of thing. But just be like, hey, it's been curious to see. So I sent him in. He fell in love with it right away. They called me up, and they're like, okay, he's in love with it. I'm like, great, now you're going to hardball me. They're like, exactly. So I went back and forth with them. The plan was to get my mother on board because she was the one that was going to write the check to actually buy the bike. Well, she never really wanted it, so I kind of waited for his date for his birthday to happen. And on the day of his birthday, I joked around with her, was over there looking, you know how much he would love to actually get a motorcycle on his birthday. She's like, I don't want to spend that much money on it because I don't want him getting angry at us. I'm like, seriously? So during dinner, she brought it up to him, and he's like, we bought you a car twice without your knowledge, one for Mother's Day and one on your birthday, and we didn't even ask you. Do you think I would really mind you buying a bike for me? No. She literally looked at me, and I knew that was the call sign to go ahead and call them and made the purchase. And then 2 days later, it was delivered to the house, and it was a surprise for him, and completely he was shocked for about a week and a half. And then for mine, we did the following year after that was when I went ahead and actually picked up my motorcycle, which was by the Villa Park Ducati dealership, and I picked up a Ducati Monster.
Nice. Very fast bike?
Yes.
Have you tested the speed limits of that bike?
I am not going to answer that with a complete yes or no.
So it's very fast?
Yes.
Now, this is a morbid question, but say 20, 30 years down the line, your father's passed away. What motorcycle ride are you going to remember the most in your mind?
We've had a couple of them right now, but I mean, we constantly do it every weekend as long as weather permits. So there's a couple of memorable ones right now that we've had with going through the local forest preserve in the Palos, Hickory Hills area that's windy curves and everything. And then we've also done a couple of funny ones going up to downtown, or one's going up to a Serbian church that's up by Gurney Mills area.
Now, did your parents have dual citizenship?
We actually, all three of us have dual citizenship. We still have citizenships for United States, and we've got, my dad's got for Serbia and my mom's got for Macedonia.
So you're quite the Serbian-American for real.
Correct.
What are some highlighted trips? You've had to go back and forth between America and Serbia, your home country.
I've done a bunch.
Your second home country, actually.
Yeah. I've done trips up to Serbia. I've done trips up to Macedonia. I've also done Denmark, Sweden, Moscow, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Canada.
So you've really been all over the world.
Yeah, and recently the Australia
Are you
one.
Multilingual then?
I am actually trilingual, and with the combination of the two, I could understand 5 to 6 other languages because of it.
What languages do you speak besides Serbian and American or English?
It's English, Serbian. I could understand Macedonian as well because my mom. With the combination of the two, I could understand Bulgarian, Bosnian, a little bit of Czechoslovakian, and if people speak to me slowly for Polish or Russian, I'm actually able to pick up 2 to 3 words and understand what they're asking me or discussing with me.
Now, do you feel like being multilingual helps you in a way in daily life? Do you feel smarter? Do you feel like you can problem solve a lot quicker because of that?
I've already known that I view things very differently from the aspect, and it's just because I've traveled so much. I don't think that it's the language base that gives me that. It's the thing where I've been to so many places, seen so many different things that I could find other ways of doing it that are easier just because I've seen ways being done easier.
So being cultured and knowing multiple ways of doing things through other people's eyes have really helped you.
Yes.
Now, 5-10 years down the line, tops, you have your own child. Are they going to be multilingual as well?
Pretty much with my parents, I already know for a fact the only language they're going to speak to them is actually going to be Serbian or Macedonian. And then with my grandmother that's over here, she'll just speak Macedonian with them. And I've got little nieces and nephews that are here now that actually understand Macedonian 100%, and actually one of them start talking back in Macedonian too.
Now, you're a VIP bottle consultant in downtown Chicago.
Correct.
How did you get into that?
I started when I was younger with a couple of different organizations. Sam Campus Production was the biggest one, and I was always one of those people that was interested in music and loved it, so I always wanted to be around it. And I've always had older friends, and they always wanted to go out places and everything. So I just took it upon myself, messaged up club owners, and found people that were doing it, contacted them, and just privately just said, hey, you know what, I hear I've got a couple of friends wanting to do this. What can we do for them? And that literally how it started, and I just built up from there.
You've been doing it for a while. How long have you been?
I could vouch that I was doing it since I was about 16, but I stopped for a little bit of a time frame from literally 18 to 22, and then after 22 I started doing it again for about another 5 years and still continuously doing it.
Have you always been like consulting, or did you used to be an employee to a company?
No, I've always consulted privately, or I've gotten people just walking in and asking about it. I mean, when I started going out and everything, people would come in And just because I knew owners and I knew what deals I could work out, I would literally just hear people talking at the bar and being like, hey, you know what? If you want, instead of paying for all the drinks at the bar, you could pop a bottle at a table. You won't have to wait by the bar, and you have private service, and you get a table with it. And people just fell for it, as you know, with me talking to them.
Yeah. Well, you're always very persuasive.
Yes.
Like a Jedi.
Occasionally.
When you were 16 and doing the bottle service, did you always get paid doing this?
I would get paid. I always had private deals worked out with GMs and everything there, or occasionally it would be through the one company that I was working with, Sam Campus Productions, there, that they would get paid, and then they would just make sure to take care of me.
Now, do you get most of your income through your bottle service, or do you get it through GameStop?
It's actually about equal at this point. There.
Is there ever some point where you're going to decide I'm going to focus 100% on being a consultant and not do the grueling work of working for an evil corporation?
No. I mean, no matter whatever I do in life, it's for the Chicago scene that I've noticed in the last couple of years. They've kind of dwindled down with bottle service. I'm only lucky that I've got a clientele list that still loves doing it. But most clubs and everything like that, I could see going towards the New York aspect right now, which is just paying to get in, a high cover charge, and everybody pays. There's no free getting in or whatever. And from that, you're able to enjoy music and enjoy a good drink. And then there still be the private sections and the VIP sections, but not as big as it should be.
Is there any way you could tell me like what a minimum price for your service is?
Matters which club and everything, because every other club's got a different deal. So when dealing with it, I try to find out what the client wants and what type of music they want to listen to, find a match for them. I mean, prices can range from a liter bottle of Grey Goose going from $275 to going to $350, matters at the club. But I usually work out deals a little bit less just because my private concierge there, where some places can do like $750s for $150, and people are extremely happy for that. So it varies.
Now, what does the VIP consist of? Do they just get a round table or some comfortable couches, or what kind of setting is this?
Pretty much it's a private section that's cordoned off for the VIP. They'll literally be either couches based, as I want to say, like cushions, or like if you go to a restaurant, like a booth style.
Booth, yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be a booth with a table in between, and then from there, literally you'll have a bottle there, any type of spritzer or anything like that you want, spirit, and then you'll have a side of whatever sides you like. Usually they do an upcharge if you're doing just straight Red Bulls on the side, but you get cranberry juice, club soda, regular soda, orange juice. Matters what you're going to be picking up. Tequila, you don't want to do it with certain things. So it matters what you're picking up for a side.
Now, I'm usually fascinated when you tell me stories, because you always are like, oh, I met Neo this weekend, or I hung out with D. Rose. Just start name dropping as many people as you can that you've hung out with or met or drank with.
I've met, people in Chicago are going to hate this. LeBron, he did a private party at a club. Besides that, you've mentioned D. Rose. I've hung with Noah and served Noah before. A couple of the Bears players, Urlacher and everything when his brother was owning a club, and just a couple of different ones. As for stars and everything, you've seen pictures with me with Yasmina Gonzalez, there, Neo, Sean Merriam as well from the Dallas Mavericks. So it's just a nice little mixture.
It definitely seems like it'd be awesome to do what you're doing, but also pretty hard because you have to talk to all the managers, and I don't think they would want to cut prices anywhere.
No, it's really coming down to, as you know me, being able to discuss and make a fair deal. Sometimes I'll do a decrease in what I should be getting just to be able to satisfy the client. If I know it's one of my good clients that are going to be repeats, I'll rather take the minor D-cut here and make it up later.
Is there any owner or GM of a club that you're just like, I don't want to deal with this guy?
I've actually been pretty fair with everybody, so everybody's fair with me. I don't have one that I could say that, I hate dealing with this one. Because if I don't have a good relationship with them, I've got a good relationship with one of their private VIP hosts that are concierge there, that I could talk to them and work it out through them. So I've never really had one where I could say I've had a bad relationship or saying that, I can't stand working with this guy, I won't send anything there.
How long do you see yourself doing the consulting?
Pretty much as long as I have the ability to. I did, as you know, this past summer, I kind of burnt myself out because I was managing a nightclub as well. And with that, like, my weekends were 72-hour weekends. I was working 68 of them straight and sleeping for only 4. And that was every single weekend for about 6 months straight.
That's a lot of partying.
It is, and it's also very painful.
You have to be pretty much churned on that entire time. You can't just be, hey, how's it going? I'm Nemanja. You're a manager.
Yeah, so you got to be uplifting and everything. You got to make sure to handle the customers that are going. And then I was, again, working that and working at the GameStop. So I was doing a combination of the two. That's why I was 68 hours. So I got to be friendly with little kids coming to my store and parents coming to my store, and then be kind to the parents that are coming and partying with me, or the teenagers and young adults partying with me.
When do you see yourself, like, settling down with a lady?
You know my background history, which we won't get into, and everything. Right now, I'm just enjoying my single life and just having fun with it. I don't have to describe that at all or anything.
Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram. There.
What's your Instagram name?
It's Nemanja O for my name, and it's Nems Chicago for the ID.
If you follow Nemanja on Instagram, you will see some crazy pictures. He just posted his trip from Australia on there, which was pretty amazing.
Yes, I did have some great points, and I have to say, for the nightclubs out over there and everything, thank you guys for all taking care of me when I was out there. I appreciate everything.
Now, Nemanja just got back from a trip where he went to Serbia and then took a red-eye all the way to Australia, which is still an additional 20-hour flight, I'm guessing.
Correct.
Serbia, he had some family stuff, but then he went to Australia. What did you see? What did you do?
I mean, I pretty much saw everything over there. I went up to a bunch of different places. The one thing for the country, it's completely beautiful. It's like...
deadly also.
Well,
it's very seductive, and then a snake bites you and you die.
Well, I didn't have to deal with that. I did have a wombat cross the road on me, though, which was quite entertaining. Kind of is native. I actually petted an 11th-month-old one, and it literally weighed about 55 pounds.
Are they, like, do they attack people?
No, they're really friendly, and they kind of are, like, no offense to say, like little lazy bears.
I have to ask you this question. Did dingo eat your baby?
No, a dingo did not eat my baby. I was actually quite lucky over there. I did see a dingo, though. They're cute.
They're cute. I thought they were like vicious dogs.
They literally look like a vicious dog, but like the one that I saw was in a cordoned-off zoo section. Mm-hmm. It was the mellowest animal that I saw there, that whole zoo section. I mean, the tiger was even more wild than that.
Okay, that is a zoo dingo. So if you go to Australia, please, if you see a dingo, do not try to feed it or pet it.
Yes, don't do that. Be careful. But the one that was at Symbian Zoo was awesome. They actually are known for having koalas there, and you could actually feed kangaroos, which I did.
That's cool. It didn't try to kick you or anything.
No, it almost kicked the little boy, though. The little boy grabbed the Joey, which is a baby kangaroo, by the tail, and the mom kind of came over there, and then the kid backed off right in time before he got kicked.
You were at the nightclub, Australia.
Yes.
Did you do your thing with the club managers? Did you talk to the managers and like, hey, what's up?
Before I actually left and actually came out over there, I messaged up a couple of clubs as well as VIP concierges that do the same thing like me specifically for the clubs. I actually got back answers from a couple of them, discussed with them private deals and everything like that, and said that I was coming out and everything. One of them actually said he'll take 100% take care of me because he knew he was going to come to Chicago at some point.
Nice.
So it was kind of an even exchange type thing. I went ahead, popped up over there. He literally took care of me, gave me drink tickets and everything. He brought up the general manager, had him meet up there, and my family that was with me, with my two cousins that came out with me, they were both like, we don't get these deals and you get these deals coming from America. How is that possible?
I guess Nemanja's motto is,
everywhere's possibilities. You just got to go ahead and go for it and ask for it.
You can't be scared to talk to people, I guess.
No.
That's what your what your mantra is. This guy will literally go up to anyone and just start talking to them.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got something. It's just make sure, if anything, everybody gets out. Everybody's a person. Make sure to talk to them as that there and be equal with them, and everybody will open up to you. I don't care who you are or what, even if you're having a bad day or what. Go ahead and let the person open up to you. You open up to them, and they'll be happy to talk to you and get something going.
A lot of people have fear of approaching people, but Nemanja lacks that in his bones.
Yes.
So you club a lot with your dad then?
I've taken him out actually one time, and it was an interesting experience when I did.
Where'd you guys go?
We went up to one of my places that I love going up to, which was MV Penthouse, and that night the owner was going to be there, and all my the staff and everything that I know. So we literally walk in, and normally when I walk into a place, one of the bartenders starts pouring me shots right away. So we walk in, and we've got Baby Guinnesses, which are Cafe Patron and Bailey's Irish Cream topped together, and literally have that waiting. All of a sudden, the owner comes. He's like, okay, let's do a round of lemon drops. Then I have two of the security guards coming up. Hey, this is your dad. Here, a round of shots on us. It was probably like 10 minutes in, and we had like 6 shots lined up for us, and then another 4 that were being made. So it was completely insane. He's like, you do this every night? I'm like, no, this doesn't happen every night. Every other weekend, possibly, but not every night.
Sounds like you have a great time with your dad. You told me this one story that I thought was intriguing, even though I don't watch Mafia Wives or whatever that show was. But you told me that they recorded an episode at one of where you're doing your consulting.
Yeah.
What show was it, and what was happening?
It was the Mafia Wives for Chicago, and literally the whole set scene that was taking place at majority of the clubs that we're going to were 100% staged. So you hear it from me, any of the reality shows, I guarantee 95 to 99% of it is staged. Nothing's really reality, people.
How'd they set it up?
They pretty much discussed with it prior to, that way with the management, with the team, and that's how it was filmed out. And I mean, that's how it goes. Any setup with drama and everything, it's all set up and done.
That's amazing. I mean, I kind of expected it, but just to see that goes even more in depth than what you see on TV. It's like it completely... Do they stage the fights? Do they tell them what to say?
They pretty much stage the drama, and then the people like work in an acting base and set it up. I mean, the people are real, but they'll just act through the scenes and just go with the flow of it. And then for any fight, sometimes those might not be fully staged, where they were planned out. It's just from the heat of the passion where people take it too seriously, and then that does happen.
Well, that's pretty much all I have for Nemanja. We learned a lot about him and where he's been, what he's doing, where he's going. But if people want to get in contact with you and be consulted on what clubs or bars to go to, how do they get in contact with you?
They could hit me up for the email that I set up pretty much for you guys, which is it's NEMS Chicago.
NEMZ, Chicago spelled out.
And that's at yahoo.com.
At yahoo.com. And you can email him at any time. You're pretty quick to the punch.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that I'm on my phone 24/7, unfortunately.
Yeah, if you're setting up a bachelor party, a bachelorette party, a birthday.
Pretty much I'll take care of everything.
Bar mitzvah.
Haven't done a bar mitzvah yet. That would be an interesting one to do.
So we're looking forward to a bar mitzvah. If you're out there looking for someone to plan a bar mitzvah, even though they're only 13?
Yeah, 13 or 16, something like that.
Is there any way to set something up like that for them? Is there any clubs that allow underage people?
If it's
without alcohol?
Without alcohol, it's got to be a complete private event where they'd have to rent out the club for that evening.
Have you ever set anything up like that before?
Had private events fully set up where they rent out a full space.
Right. There you go. It's possible. It can happen.
It can happen.
And thank you, Nemanja, for coming in.
No problem, buddy. Always happy to help.
All right. That's it from me. Have a good night. NIMS VIP bottle service. If you want your party in Chicago to be on the next level, plan it with NIMS VIP bottle service. Birthday, bachelor, bachelorette, corporate parties. NIMS VIP bottling service can get you at the venue you want. Envy Penthouse, Prohibit, Y Bar, Bevy, and so many more Chicago hotspots. You'll be partying like a celebrity with NIMS VIP bottle service. Email him at NEMZChicago, NIMSChicago at yahoo.com, and follow him on Instagram, NEMZ Chicago. NIMS VIP bottle service. It won't break the bank, but it will blow your mind.